Hey, what's up guys, Rip here. So believe it or not, we have a follow-up to a previous video I released about a week ago involving this VTuber named Curio. Curio has been doing his best to virtue signal on Twitter, whether it's for brownie points or impressing women. Whatever his goal is, it's quite pathetic and hypocritical. Because just a month or so ago, he tweeted that people on this site are getting way too comfy with being unkind. Then fast forward to January 18th, he said, "We're not hating men enough." Yes, he's tweeting this as a man. But since then, he has been on an engagement bait farm, making an absolute fool out of himself, doubling, tripling, quadrupling down to the point where he's now releasing YouTube videos claiming he's been canceled by stupid men on Twitter. And as you can see by the like to dislike ratio, not great. Also, not even pushing 3K views. Was it worth it, bro? Was it worth the self-defeating nature of calling out your fellow man just for clout and virtue signaling? Totally not. And while this guy will judge half of the population and say they don't deserve anything good, I believe everyone deserves something good and they shouldn't be judged by the nature of how they were born. And to celebrate that, we have another drop with Advance. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, a new Advance Valentine's Day drop. And we're even bringing back the classic Rev and Straub Love Potion flavor jar. It is a hydration flavor jar. You can see me and my wife, Darling Straub, featured on this. Delicious flavor. It will keep you hydrated. Great stuff as always. But what is really special about this drop is that if you use code REV30, you'll get 30% off your entire advanced order. And this is only available for a limited time through the 25th, so just a few days. You can use it on our jar as well as the new Sweethearts Energy flavor jar that they're releasing for Valentine's Day as well, or my classic permanent fixture Jolly Pop flavor, which is also an energy flavor jar. Love that. Proud to have that as a permanent fixture. We also got some old merch we're bringing back for Valentine's Day. We got some shakers. Once again, celebrating Valentine's Day. We got some t-shirts and hoodies, which Advance was kind enough to send to me and my wife. They look very great, high quality stuff. And of course, you can use it on any flavor jar or shaker on their website. I'll put a link to my collection on the pinned comment, and make sure to use code REV30 to get 30% off your total order. Make sure to use it before it is gone, ladies and gentlemen. But let's go back to Curio. So he made this post that we talked about roughly a week ago where he said, "We're not hating men enough." Stunning and brave. This guy is doing anything to impress women, even if it means throwing his fellow brothers under the bus and doing a classic all men type statement. But let's see the type of people who are supporting this. We saw the parasocial fans who were trying to prop him up, even though he was getting called out for being a hypocrite and, well, a man-hater. Here's someone saying, "If you're a man and respect women and their boundaries, you should have no problem with this statement or any iteration of it. With the amount of stories I hear from my friends about the disgusting stuff they've dealt with from men, especially in this space, this shouldn't be controversial, and if it is to you, you should fix this." Wow. That's amazing stuff. Great logic. So basically this guy's saying if you have a bad experience with a gender, you're allowed to make a all blank deserve more hates type statement. Yeah. Very, very deep, high IQ. This guy rubbed his two remaining brain cells together to come up with this absolute drivel, this absolute slop, engagement bait, virtue signal, whatever you want to call it. And you can see the high IQ of this guy. So someone says, "What? No, if you're a self-respecting man at all and have any amount of common sense, you would not support the hatred of men. This post is disgusting. Shame on you, to be honest." And here's his amazing response. LOL. Good debate. This person says, "Maybe you need new friends if all they do is drama dump on you and hate men, which I assume includes you. Seems toxic AF. But I'll take the super controversial position. Sexism is bad in general. He responds by saying, "Yep, I'm so toxic." This person says, "You are a rather craven individual. Go apologize to some trees for being a waste of air." And he says, "How about you try being a better VTuber and not being so pathetic?" I don't really know where this guy gets off telling people to do better at their VTubing career. Like, bro, settle down, okay? And also look at the profile type this guy has. He is a mirror of Kirio, the e-boy LARPer who's trying to act all like deep and mysterious and talks in a deep voice. Like, this is the bottom of the barrel, ladies and gentlemen. But of course, we got to go back to Kirio, who has been playing this whole situation up. He loves the attention, okay? He is embracing being canceled. Buddy, you're not really canceled because your audience is so parasocial by your design. You could do whatever you want, and they're going to stay with you. It's people on the outside who are looking at your sexist comments, your hypocritical ones as well, and saying you're an idiot, and you can't handle it. You're literally haywiring, which, ironically enough, his former account at Niji Sanji was called Hex Haywire, but I digress. He has really double, tripled, and quadrupled down. So you have the original tweet down here saying we're not hating men enough. Then he says, getting canceled, so sad. Anyway, I'm live on Twitch. Then he says, in 2026, I will continue to rage bait men more. Interesting. The rage bait king here doesn't really seem to stand by anything, because if you keyword search men on his account, you get 2 tweets. The new ones he made, right? The original one that caused the controversy, and a follow-up saying he's rage baiting men more this year. But of course, in my previous video, I keyword searched men on his account, and these are all the other tweets. He deleted all these. So the rage bait king over here, the alpha that this guy is covering up his tracks and deleting all of his posts saying he hates men, etc. Yeah, very bold of this guy. And as Parrot points out here, it's like, we get it, dude. We understand, okay? We know what you're doing. We understand your parasocial demographic that hates men, and you're pandering to them. And it makes a lot of sense when you look back at his former Niji Sanji avatar. He had a plastic asset. I'll just say that. Okay, I don't know if YouTube really likes that word. And he would literally hold it in his hand and wave it around in front of his extremely parasocial audience. And I can't stress that enough. But he wasn't done. The virtue signal was not completed from this guy. He needs to do more. He is desperately yearning for a crumb of attention and approval from any woman on the internet. So he makes this post right here saying, we're not loving women enough, which is a sort of counter to what he said earlier about men not getting enough hates. Stunning and brave stuff. I'm sure your very parasocial audience will seal clap at this very low efforts post here. But as pointed out in the replies, let's go back to the whole Niji Sanji arc of this guy's career where he played the character Hex Haywire. This photo right here represents the worst side of this guy's community. Okay, I'm not showing this for obvious reasons, but it's an arm of someone allegedly carving the name Hex into their arm. Okay? And given this guy's history of engaging and promoting parasocial relationships with his audience, I'm not surprised something like this would happen. Kirio, as Hex Haywire, was known for his Twitter likes being filled with selfies of his own fans under related hashtags. There was hundreds of them. He was encouraging them by engaging with their behavior to do more. If a fan is posting selfies and photos of themselves with the clear intention, especially using hashtags, to get your attention as a content creator and you are liking them, you are giving them a feedback loop. And that is the most parasocial thing ever. As a YouTuber, that is a no-no. A content creator generally, that's a no-no. You don't engage with stuff like that because it gives people this parasocial relationship with you. They start posting more stuff. It's very, very unhealthy. And that's how you end up with stuff like this. Okay? Disgusting. But of course, our king of rage bait was not done. he took to YouTube. And I'm sorry, earlier I said he wasn't pushing 3K views. He got over the 100 view threshold here. He is now at 3K views. That is amazing stuff. Well done, Curio. He's got the 50-50 like to dislike ratio, but clearly he got the last laugh in this situation by posting a 16-minute cope session in front of 3,000 people. Yeah, amazing stuff. He is, of course, streaming, and this is a video capturing some of that, where he's addressing all of the backlash and how he's being canceled by all of these awful people.
So if I had said, you know, we're not hating women enough, I would have not received half the backlash. But the problem with this statement is it's like very untrue. Like, women have it very much historically and observably harder than men in many departments, right? I'm not saying that men have it easy or life is easy. Life is hard for everybody usually, right? Like, especially, except if you're like, you know, you've been born with a silver spoon or something. But life is hard. But for women, it's even harder. And if I had said that we're not hating women enough, I guarantee that I wouldn't have received half or a fourth as much backlash. But it's these sensitive loser incels that are, you know, have been thriving in the dusty recesses of Twitter that are very pissed about it. And I absolutely am not backing down. Like, they can all suck my dick, to be honest with you. And again, I'm not trying to say that all men are bad people, but somehow it's always a man who's pissed at me. Never a woman. I don't get it. Like, I'm not saying all men are bad people, but somehow it's always some like incel guy who is pissed at me and never a woman. I don't really understand.
Okay, first of all, I want to point something out, and once I point it out to you, you'll never unsee it, okay? So, whether you rewatch that clip or you wait for the next clip we're going to watch, every 10 seconds or so, you'll notice this guy takes a heavy gasp for air. The reason that's happening is because he's putting on a forced voice. And this unnatural voice, he's trying to have like this deep voice, it's so unnatural that it puts strain on him. It puts strain on his lungs. So every 10 seconds, he has to take this deep every couple of seconds, right? It's very obvious. Once you see it, you'll never unsee it. It's very, very funny when you realize how forced all of this is. But anyways, his big point is that if he said a tweet where, you know, we're not hating women enough, he would have gotten half, maybe even a quarter of the backlash. That is a very childish and stupid defense. Like, no, really, unpack this. He's basically saying, I did something bad, but I could have done something worse. Therefore, what I did is not bad. What? Buddy, that makes absolutely no sense. That is the dumbest defense I've ever heard. Like, am I talking to like a fully functional human being here? But of course, you know, with his audience, they're so parasocial. They're just going to accept whatever this guy says. Like, he could show up and just like mumble random words and they'd be like, we love you so much. Oh my gosh. But of course, he also brings up the classic. He calls his critics sensitive, loser incels. Amazing. Amazing that the male feminist is literally sounding just like your typical feminist, calling all their critics loser incels. But sensitive, that's very funny. This guy makes a terrible post about wanting more hatred towards men, and now he's gone on a 5 or so day crash out because people said, hey dude, that's hateful and you're a hypocrite. But the people saying that are sensitive. Dude, you're the sensitive one. Like, realize that. But also the loser incel comment. Amazing. That's what they say when they have absolutely no counter argument whatsoever. That's what they say. Okay? And at this point, it's obvious that's a very valuable currency, right? Whether someone's an incel or not, which is pathetic in its own right. But we have scenarios like this, and I don't like to pull this card out unless it's relevant. I'm a married man. And I think what you said is stupid and hypocritical. Now what? What do we do now? Are you going to like malfunction? Do you have anything else to say? Because what you're saying is not really an argument in the first place. It's just insulting people, but it doesn't even work on people like me. So, like, now what? But anyways, he also said in that clip, he's not saying all men are bad, but it's always a male, and also calls them incels again. So he's saying, when I said all men, I didn't mean all men in a tweet where I said all men. Make it make sense. But let's listen to one more relevant clip from this brooding intellect.
And I think the most ironic part is when so many men are like, oh my God, you will never, like, you will always be a virgin, blah, 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 in my comment section. Like the craziest projections ever. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, that is, I guarantee you, you have like, it's just, so insane. It's so fucking crazy, the projections that they're throwing out there for me. I cannot even, I cannot even, simply put. But yeah, I don't know. It's really ridiculous, and it's also really saddening and funny.
As I briefly pointed at earlier, when it comes to people like this, he calls everyone incels who he doesn't like, not only because he has no argument, but also because whether or not someone is engaging in sexual behavior, that is the most valuable currency to someone like this. I think it's very obvious this guy's entire LARP on the internet is all about impressing women, right? It's so obvious. Like, it's the LARPing as an e-boy. It's the pathetic, pandering, virtue signaling tweets. It's all about that. But at the end of the day, this guy is a self-hating man, and it's absolutely pathetic and shallow. But let's see the comment section. So I'm pretty positive he's deleting comments, but let's see some of them. I don't know, trying to force hate on yourself just because you want to appeal more to women sounds really like a douchebag. I don't think you actually care about women. You just care because it's content and it pays you. I just know someone is working overtime to delete some of the comments here. Peak performative. I hate half the planet. Guys, half the planet hates me now. Bruh. So it's okay to hate on men if you're a content creator? For clout? Casual reminder, as Hex Haywire of Niji Sanji, this fella actively endorsed his viewers to vent, aka trauma dump in super chats to him, or to quote a Parrot 4chan video. He was monetizing mental illness. Wasn't he the one that called his fan base as sicklings? Yes, thank you for reminding me. His old fan base was called sicklings. Like a bunch of unwell people. He like literally played into that. This guy is the epitome of everything wrong with these performative, virtue signaling VTubers. It's just ridiculous. It's not even worth it. Again, 3K views on a YouTube video after getting clowned on for days and days and seething about it. But I'm glad you're getting seal claps from your unwell fan base. I'm sure that's exactly what you're going for. I don't think anyone on the outside even matters at this point. But for those peeking into this world of people like Curio, we see how unwell and ridiculous all of the things this guy stands for truly are. But anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.